Hi, welcome to my trading pit. My name is Lundy Hill. I'm trying to give you the tools and techniques you need to trade and invest in stocks, futures, and cryptos. Please note I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial investment advice, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Today I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin. In my last week's newsletter, I expected an up move in Bitcoin based on some line formations, and I'm going to go over that and how I was wrong on that. So here is the current action in Bitcoin going up to a few days ago before the breakout. We see that price had rallied up strongly from the October lows around 61,000 all the way up to 110,000. So almost doubling in price. And then we had a tight congestion from mid-December up until, like I said, a few days ago. And I thought we'd have a breakout to the upside, taking Bitcoin to $160,000, but I was wrong. First, let's talk about why I thought that. If technical analysis is about finding patterns, and then you try to find those patterns repeating, and you expect the same movement to happen this time that happened last time. The pattern that just played out was a very similar pattern that played out in 2023 and 24. Here that is shown. Upon reflection, this line formation highlighted with the green lines was not really a line formation. First of all, prices rallied from September of 2023 to late 2023 up to about $45,000, then formed a sideways pattern. Note the first failed breakout in December. That was the first attempt at new highs and told you possibly that higher highs are coming. And then later on in January of 2024, we had a spring. A spring is a breakdown in price, but there's no follow through down, and it immediately rallies back up. I'll talk more about that later. But then in early February, we had the legitimate breakout, and that carried Bitcoin in an equal wave up from around 39,000 all the way up to 75,000, which is almost a double. Here I've highlighted those waves. Wave 1 is the wave into the congestion of late 2023 and early 2024. And wave 2 is the wave out of that congestion. These are equal waves, and we note that price reached a little bit higher and the time was a little less. So this is a sign of strength, and that higher highs are probably coming because the waves are getting stronger and shorter. Here's the spring I was talking about in early 2024. My father coined the term spring and upthrust. These are breakout points with a nearly immediate rejection of the new prices. A spring occurred in late January of 2024 where prices went below the support point, and this support point was well established. You have several tails at this support point. It had a little follow through down, which was met with immediate buying. You can note that from the long tail on that low bar. 3 days later, prices rallied $2,000 higher. In mid-February, Bitcoin has one of our 9 patterns that signal a trend change, and prices rallied from there all the way up to $70,000. So that's a great move. Let's zoom out now and talk about the current trade. Zooming out to the weekly chart, we note that since the lows of $16,000 back in late 2022, Bitcoin has formed a beautiful 5 waves up Elliott wave cycle. That's 3 waves up separated by 2 sideways to down waves. So you have wave 1 up, and then a sideways to down wave. Wave 2 up, sideways to down move, and then wave 3 up. So you could really count them as 5 waves, with the primary waves being in the direction of the trend. This is a complete cycle. It is now time for 3 waves down because you have 5 waves up and 3 waves down. And you should only have 3 waves in a 3-wave correction in an uptrend for that uptrend to stay intact. These waves should have been a hint that this recent line congestion was not a continuation pattern, but more of a top. Instead of waiting for higher prices, a short sell might have been taken when this line pattern was broken down this week in the last 5 days. Now let's zoom in on the 4-hour chart. I switched to futures here to play the gaps. Gaps aren't possible on the cash market because the cash market trades 24/7. Now gaps are can be a great indication that something major in the underlying market has changed, and that happened in Bitcoin. And gaps can propel prices further in the direction of the gap, and that's exactly what happened here. Monday's night session had a 1.5% gap down open below the prior pivot. We see that prior pivot going back a few days on the, I think that's a black line. After this gap down, no buyers came in. You had a little bit of sideways congestion, but no real buyers came in after the tail. The tail was a sign of some buyers coming in, but it didn't propel prices higher. This was a sign that lower prices were coming, and they did come. Bitcoin dropped all the way down to 82,000 in 2 days. This was a 12% drop. That is a major drop in any market. Next, here's a chart where I've pulled back to the weekly chart, and I've shown the 5 waves again, which is the complete cycle up. So now I'm expecting a cycle down. But where should that cycle down take us? The complete 5 waves up needs to correct. The shortest correction would be 3 waves down and take us to take Bitcoin to the 38% level of that entire move up from 2022. That 38% Fibonacci level takes us down to $73,513. That's about $11,000 lower from current prices. Note also that this Fibonacci level is also the exact, almost the exact high of the wave 2 move up high. So the congestion high is coming in right there too. But there's more. If we take a measured move of the distance equal to the channel, this high channel that's been forming since December of 2024, and put that same distance below the low of the channel, we get a target also in the $73,000 to $74,000 level. So I think there's a high likelihood that we will drop another $10,000 to $12,000 into the $73,000, $74,000 range. And then we will look for one of our 9 patterns to go long if the trend is holding. I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe. Leave any feedback on how I can improve, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.